Genetics is the study of genes, heredity, and genetic variation in living organisms. It is a broad field that encompasses many different areas, from molecular genetics to population genetics to medical genetics. In this video, we will be explaining the science of genetics in detail, covering its history, key concepts, and some of the latest research in the field. The science of genetics has a long and rich history, dating back to the early 19th century when Gregor Mendel conducted experiments on pea plants to study heredity. Mendel's work laid the foundation for the study of genetics, and he is often called the father of genetics. In the early 20th century, scientists discovered that genes were located on chromosomes, which are long strands of DNA. This discovery led to a deeper understanding of the molecular basis of heredity, and paved the way for modern genetics research. Genetics is a complex field that involves many different concepts and processes. Some of the key concepts in genetics include genes. Genes are the basic units of heredity, and they carry the instructions for making proteins, which are the building blocks of cells. DNA. DNA is a long, double-stranded molecule that contains the genetic code. It is made up of 4 nucleotide bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, that pair up in specific ways. Chromosomes. Chromosomes are structures made up of DNA and proteins. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, for a total of 46. Alleles. Alleles are different versions of a gene. For example, there are different alleles for the gene that controls eye color. Genetic variation. Genetic variation refers to the differences in genes and alleles that exist within a population. Inheritance. Inheritance refers to the way that genes are passed down from parents to offspring. Different patterns of inheritance exist, including dominant and recessive inheritance. There are many ongoing research projects in genetics that are focused on understanding the genetic basis of health and disease, as well as the evolutionary history of living organisms. Some of the key areas of research in genetics include medical genetics. Medical genetics is focused on understanding the genetic basis of disease and developing treatments for genetic disorders. Population genetics. Population genetics is focused on understanding the genetic variation within and between populations, and how genetic variation changes over time. Molecular genetics. Molecular genetics is focused on understanding the structure and function of genes at the molecular level. Evolutionary genetics. Evolutionary genetics is focused on understanding the evolutionary history of living organisms, and how genetic variation contributes to evolutionary change. Advances in technology, such as DNA sequencing and gene editing techniques, have revolutionized the field of genetics in recent years. These techniques have enabled researchers to study the genetic code in more detail than ever before, and to develop new treatments for genetic disorders. Genetics is a complex and fascinating field that is essential to our understanding of biology and health. Ongoing research in genetics is helping us to better understand the genetic basis of disease, as well as the evolutionary history of living organisms. Advances in technology are continuing to revolutionize the field of genetics, and hold promise for new treatments for genetic disorders in the future.